I actually was a general manager for one of their distribution facilities. And that was actually what I would say by the luck of the draw. So I'm going to give you a couple different examples because they're not all the same. I was implementing our warehouse management tool to Pepsi across the US. And I met the chief operating officer. And I worked with this individual to put these tools in. And he says, wow, you really understand the warehouse and the distribution facility. I said, I have to. I'm giving the tools to your people. If I don't understand it, and I'm not the expert, your team will not adopt this tool. So, networking was a way I stepped out of comfort that this person invested in me. So again, I had a mentor, and he said to me, I'm going to put you in, and I want you to run a distribution facility. So one was clearly by networking, being an expert in understanding the discipline of warehouse management, that somebody then, which you need, took a risk on me. So that was one. The one within recall. So I do run our digital product line as well now. So I'm not just the CIO, I also own our business unit. It's only about 10% of our revenue, it's only about 90 million in revenue, so while it's not huge, it's not billions of dollars, how did I step out for that? So the way I started there was totally different. Any project that people asked for volunteers, which our CEO does, says, who wants to lead the development of the new digital solution? Now, you have to make sure you deliver. If you're going to raise your hand, the next step is I went out and I asked experts outside of our industry, so on my own time, nights and weekends, understood, we call it the business process outsourcing, fully understood the different digital product lines out there, also smart enough to know, since I am a CIO, I have a budget, I brought in a consultant, an expert, to help me to be successful. So created the right team to make sure. But it started by me volunteering for it. And the president of my company loved it. He didn't have to hire anybody, not an additional cost, but the key is then I delivered. From there, you deliver, then they said, maybe we'll give them a little more, and a little more. So that always, always happens. Now the other thing too is because I've had business roles, that's just two. Company before this called Westcon, I was actually North America's CEO, Chief Operation Officer, as well as CIO for about a year. The way that happened is really in a sense which was totally, totally different. I expressed to our CEO that that's what I want to do. And he said to me, okay, well, I'm not ready to do that. And I said, okay, give me the top 5 criteria that would make you comfortable to have me be COO. And he told me, you need these 5 skills. And I said to him, how can I get those 5 skills? And some of them were training, some was partnered mentoring, the other was that I was actually working in our warehouse. And after a year and a half, I said, click, 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 you said, and he actually, his word was true, and he gave me COO as well. So there's 3 different examples, how you can step out of your comfort level and still get new opportunity. I'm sure there's other ways, but the point, or the answer to the question is, you have to figure out, how do I get there? Good question, thank you. Any others? Before we take a break.
Jason, as a manager, I want to know to what degree you judge your employee by the way he dress, he act, and before you even talk to him or her, because we had a discussion about the proper dress in the corporate world before you people.
Yeah, that's a great question. So who didn't hear the question, as me being a manager, how do I view, employees, whether it's on my team or not on my team, how they dress and how they act, and I'll even go further, mannerisms. This is always, it's a difficult question. And the reason why I'll say it's difficult, because I have a viewpoint, okay? But the problem is it's not just my viewpoint. There's other leaders in a company, and you're not going to be able to know each and every one of their viewpoints. So where I go with is I'd say, look, it's that old saying, always dress as if you're 1 level or 2 levels above. So if 2 levels above is a director, and that director, he or she comes always in, you always see her in a skirt or a dress, always very professional, maybe a blazer, or you see a director who's a male, always wears a blazer, always wears tie shoes, not loafers. Guess what? That should be your attire. So I do believe personally that it doesn't affect me, but there's always the impression to stand out. So the answer to your question is how do I separate myself way of dressing above. Now, if you're all dressing the same, it's business casual in my company. On Fridays, we wear jeans. I never wear jeans. On Fridays, you could wear jeans. Don't wear jeans. On Friday, you know, we could wear shorts and flip-flops. Don't wear shorts and flip-flops. Stand apart. Everybody remember you because of the way you're dressed. So I'm giving you a little bit of an opinion. I'm not giving you facts, but dress for success. Matter of fact, it was up to me, and this was things that I had to do. I came into recall, suit and tie every day. Finally, my CEO goes to me, you got to cut that out. I realized from my career advancement, I better take the suit and tie off. So you don't want to be out of the norm. You don't want to come in a tuxedo every day while everyone's not in, you know. So you want to be one step above the norm, but you want to step out. And I think it's very important. You know, if you see a group of people in recall on a Friday, you'll see them all casual. And all of a sudden you see that, you know, person who delivers just as much as everybody else in this room, but they're dressed up a little bit more. And people remember that. You know, do you ever go to a party and you say, wow, you know, Sally and Bill, they were really sharply dressed. Nothing crazy, just sharply dressed. And you remember that. And all of a sudden, 3 months later, it's time for a party. Let's invite Sally and Bill. They're the first ones. It's the same concept. Any other questions? Yes?
This is kind of related, his question, is as a high-level manager, do you kind of open your radar, always notify somebody, maybe multiple levels below you, he will be somebody I will maybe can be promoted or utilized for a certain area, or all those, keep that kind of radar? Or how? Or what's your criteria to?
The question is do I keep my radar open for individuals, for talent that I see that can grow in other positions and roles? For me personally, the answer is yes. I would tell you, because I've been a leader for quite a long time, not everybody thinks that way. So there's two ways. I am very objective. The world is not objective. This kind of frustrates me, so you're going to see a little bit of, I won't say anger, but frustration. It is subjective. What I mean by subjectivity is they can meet Jason. Looks very Italian looking. Looks like he could be a mafia guy. I don't want him in my company. That's called subjectivity. And you have to realize there is subjectivity. Goes back to the question of dress. And to me, those are not good leaders. And I challenged them even in recall. I won't tell you names. I challenged them in recall and said, that doesn't fly in my book. You put down on paper, to me, the deliverables of people, and I also believe it's about potential. Somebody, actually many people have given me a chance. When I got my first job in Pepsi to be a divisional CIO, somebody said, you know, somebody could have said, he's never been a CIO, don't promote him to CIO. Somebody could have said, he can deliver, he has potential, here's what he's done, and stepped up. So the answer for me is yes, I always do have my radar. And sometimes what I do, because I have some of these naysayers, I told you, these subjective people, is I don't hire a position right away. I have this right now in my company. My global IT security director left, and the position was opening, and somebody says, you know, I could really do this. I'm smart enough to check, because it is a very customer-facing role. I checked with some of my presidents, and like, I don't really know if he can do that. Okay, I'm going to post the position, I said. I said, but you know what? It's a very important role. I'm not going to hire from the outside a consultant to fill in. I'm going to have them acting, and I'm coaching this person. I said, look, here's your opportunity. I believe in you, but this role is for the business. They're the ones who are going to say they're going to want you. For now, literally, for 6 months, he's been doing the role, and the president's been giving feedback. Hey, wow, he's in an interim role. He's doing pretty good. Okay, well, I'm going to post the position soon, and then I'll have him interview with you. I can almost guarantee you, because I won't post it till July, I can guarantee you he'll go through the interview process and he'll probably make it now. So when I see talent, it is our role as a leader. So any leaders out here, it's your role to help good talent and make sure you mentor them to be successful. So I just want to step back, and you know, they always say, Jason, what type of leader are you? What is your leadership style? There's not one leadership style, I believe, for me. Any leader that's one-dimensional, you always hear that one, he's military, he gives me orders, she gives me orders. You know what? Those leaders can go out the door. They don't harness a team. Let me give you an example when I'm talking about leadership. When I promote within, like I just spoke about what I'm doing, my leadership style is very mentoring. I want to help them. They need to be successful. I meet with them every week. I put down their objectives. Ask me if you're challenged in one. I will help you. I will get you training. We owe it to this person. What do? Hey, you get promoted. Push them into the pool. Do they swim? Not right. Give them a life vest. Help them. Be a lifeguard and watch them. Reach out to them when they're drowning a little bit and pull them up to make them successful. That's one style. Now, if I hire someone from the outside, clearly they're coming and interviewing for a specific role to be my director of project management office. Well, my leadership style is simple. You're the expert. Please don't come to me and say, what do you want the PMO to look like? I don't know. You're going to create a PMO. I expect you to bring your area of expertise. Come to me with the calculated options, your recommendation, we'll decide together, and off you go. And then my leadership style for grooming my successor, because I always groom a successor, I always groom my successors. Now that is very interesting, because everyone says, well, how do you do that? I call that tough love. What do you mean? Well, if you want to be a CIO, I will give you projects, I'll let you go to meetings for me, and you will do some of my job where they'll say to me, wow, what are you doing, Jason? I'm doing your job. Well, the best way for you to take my job is to understand that you've experienced so you don't learn the hard way. So there's different leadership styles out there. So that was a good question, thank you. Well, they're all good questions. Any more before?
I got one question. As an MC, I have the, I can use the mic.
I thought that was God for a minute.
That's the effective one. As a minority in this country, we always heard the terms glass ceiling, meaning no matter how hard you work, you always get to a level in the corporate and it's hard for you to break it. I guess there are many, many reasons. As a Chinese, communication is one. We also have a culture not to promote yourself, let people to find your value. I mean, that probably is the reason. But you as a leader, you working for so many corporate, you probably see people that break through that glass ceiling. And I would like to know, what do you see in those people? What do they have that the majority of the minority people they don't have? And how do we get there?
Great question. And